Good day everybody, welcome to another video. This is your personal funky scene pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, I'll be your captain for today. So we're back with another PDMG DC-6. This time it's the Alpha variant, it's the cargo variant. And as you can see, we've chosen the Fuerza Aerea Mexicana livery. Or if you have a look on the other side as well, it's a livery. I believe it's also from the flightsim.to website. So today's flight is going to be interesting. As you can see, the sun is setting in the sky, and we're doing real-world time and weather. I am not really sure the airport that we're flying to, whether it's illuminated or not. I was unable to see on the chart. So just see what's going to happen. And obviously, as always, landing this aircraft for me is still somewhat of a challenge. Did a flight earlier today, and the approach was kind of messy, but the touchdown itself was okay. So yeah, let's just hope we can get better at it. Let's just jump into the cockpit here, and I will show you the flight plan for today's flight. So as you can see, it's about 1 hour 55 minutes flight. We're here in Mexico, down in the south. So we'll be taking off from the Ciudad Constitution airport to General Rafael Buelna airport. It's on the other side of the ocean there, or the sea. We'll be flying from VOR to VOR and to the last VOR, so it's in that sense not a very long flight, but the legs are quite long, 117 nautical miles, and forgot what this one was. It's also long, it doesn't show now. And 143 nautical miles is the first. So and we do not have an outbound radio. I think we can fly from here. Let me quickly check, but no. So it's going to be interesting. It looks like a fairly big VOR, but I'm not really sure how strong its signal is going to be and when we're going to pick it up. The frequency is 115.5, so we're going to put that in later. First we're going to start up the engines, and we'll ask the artificial flight engineer to assist in the flight. So they're going to get the aircraft ready for us. So let's check. Let me quickly check the status of the engines. I'm just going to do repair on all of them, and the service prop, and it's also this is actually fine. Anything we can top up here, it should all be good then. Okay, so the artificial flight engineer is always welcome on the board, so he may do the before start checks.
Completed. Voice recorder. Tested. Oil coolers and cow flaps. Auto and position. Fuel and fluids. Checked. Pressurization. Set. Manifold and duct pressure. Checked. Radios. Checked. Doors and hatches. Closed. Door warning lights. Out. Gear pins. Removed. 3 on board. Seat belts and pedals. Adjusted. Throttles. Set to idle. Propellers. Forward and 3. Before start checks complete. Start engines.
Okay, so we got to go for the engine start. Just put in the frequency of the first VOR on our route, and I'm also going to put in 066 for the heading to the first VOR. I just put it in, but it's not picking up yet, which makes sense because it's about 143 nautical miles away from us, and we're still on the ground as well. So we are definitely after takeoff going to fly to a heading of 066 degrees and just keep flying the heading until the VOR signal gets picked up by our systems. Okay, so we'll just start up the engine now. Okay, so we got one engine started up now. I really like the livery, the red dots at the end and the golden sort of bronze golden color on the engines there, on the propellers. Let's see, so engine number 4, we got the fuel booster pump, and there goes the ignition, and we go ahead and run it.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Sounds like a successful start of engine number 4 as well. So we go for engine number 2 now. So my previous video, after about 1 hour and 13 minutes or something, I discovered that there was something wrong with my microphone setting. So all everybody could hear was just a loud hissing noise. Obviously suboptimal.
3, 6, 9.
But fortunately I was able to fix it after that, but you know. I believe the engine number 2 is failing. Yeah, there you go. So we're going to have to do this again. So the engineer is counting the blades rotation there.
9.
And then we prime it.
12.
And we boost it. And looks like it's going now. So we select engine number 1. You can check down here as well if the engine is running. It's got the engine number 2. Let's see. Why is the one? I do not understand this. That's actually interesting. Let me just have another check here. What's going on? So if the engine is not started, the manifold pressure is 30 inch. Well, that's new to me. But a lot is new to me, to be very fair. Okay, so no problem. So we select engine number 1, select fuel boost and the ignition, and we start it up.
3, 6, 9, 12.
And there it goes, engine number 1. We got RPM going. We got fuel pressure on all 4 tanks, on all 4 engines. We got oil pressure. So So it's looking good. So we'll request the after start checklist and I will check the weather.
Start selected, most pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Plane battery. Generators and inverters. Checked and on. Emergency lights. Armed. Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
Okay, so one interesting feature of this SIM update 7 is that you should be able to get the METAR. Select an airport from the following list. We got Mike Delta Alpha, which is ours, but it has no METAR available. Well, okay, so that is that. We got live weather. Sun is setting quite quickly. Okay, so it is how it is. Do they have a windsock perhaps? Well, that would be nice. Let's just go over to the camera view and we go to the showcase. Now let's have a look. Hopefully, look, there is a windsock. And by the looks of it, that's the wind direction. Well, actually like this. So we're going to have to take off from way over there. So we're going to get on the runway here and then turn around. Okay, so that's what we'll do. See if we can make a really sharp left turn here, and let's also do the before takeoff checklist.
Boost pumps. Boost pumps on low. Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off. Autopilot and carb heat. Off and cold. Hydraulic system. Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20. Flaps set 20. Windows and turbine. Closed and on. Controls.
Yeah, so as you could see, the aircraft is quite maneuverable while on the ground. It's actually very nice. It feels very comfortable. Let's get back into the cockpit here.
On. Landing lights.
So the landing lights are being switched on too.
Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
Oh, why is it not stopping? Every once in a while it does this. You take a turn, you're using your rudder, and it just doesn't stop. Don't really know why. Never really got me into big trouble, but it looks stupid. Okay, so here we are taxiing to the other end of the runway there. So as I understood, try not to go above 1000 RPM. I believe it's 1000. It says 10, but I believe it's actually always 1000. But can we maybe tell for sure without crashing? Oh, this is the manifold pressure. Sorry. 100, yeah, probably. So yeah, it's a slightly different aircraft because it's, you can see, no window. It's a cargo craft. There are some windows, but it's different. And it has no seating arrangements in the back because it's, you know, it's a cargo plane. So my boss asked me to fly some, basically to move some material for a Mexican business acquaintance. Now when we arrive here, this windsock is pointing the other direction, looks like. But it's probably fine. It doesn't look like there's a lot of wind anyway. Oh, we do have a little place where we can turn. That's always nice. Let's sit up a little bit higher and do not go too fast. And I believe the runway, it is not very long. It's also not very short. But I think I would like to be able to use the entire runway. So let's try and use every little inch that we can. So here we are, lined up, ready to roll. Quick briefing. We're going obviously to have to wait until we can actually fly VOR navigation. So I already set the heading. Oh, I just messed it up. The heading for let me just get up closer again. It should be 066. So like maybe one notch to the left, yeah, one to the right. Yeah, so 066. So we'll be taking off about 11 or 10. So we do a left turn to 066 degrees, and we'll just fly using the gyro pilot, and it will keep us on the heading. So it's not taking into account any wind, so we will not see whether we're drifting or not, because we're simply following a heading, whether you know, regardless of any ground tracks. So there we are. There is our shadow in the Mexican sand. Flight controls all appear to be working too. So let's go ahead and do the takeoff. Now we're going to do a dry takeoff.
30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize. Stabilized. Cal flaps. Cal flaps. Cal flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power.
Okay, so they're going full power. As soon as full power is reached, we will release the parking brakes, and we'll take off around 100 or 107 knots, something like that.
Full power set.
Full power set. So we release the parking brake and we start rolling. Zoom in a little bit more so I can actually see the speed. Okay, so 100 is there, okay. So 100 coming up, so that's actually fine. A little more speed. And we lift off. Nice and easy.
Positive rate, gear up.
Positive rate, gears coming up. Try and hold 1000 feet per minute climb rate. We're now at 900 feet per minute. Keep it steady.
Flaps up. Flaps up.
Flaps go up too. So then our speed should increase to about 165 knots. speed is here, it's going to 160.
Meter power. Setting meter power, 48 inches, 2600 RPM.
So at this stage we can climb 1500 feet per minute. Try not to go over. I'd like to get keep the speed going. So we're about 1500 now.
Meter power set. Climb power. Setting climb power.
Setting climb power. Let's have a look. The VOR is not picking up, no problem. So we're going to do a left turn. So what I will do is I will turn on the gyro pilot. And do a left turn.
Set. After takeoff checklist, please.
Let's monitor the climb rate. 1500, a little more, it's fine, speed's good.
After takeoff checks complete.
Still climbing. And we'll try to stop the roll once we reach around 70. Because obviously we'll have to put the mouse into the direction to the right there. So around here, by the time we got this hand signal, there you go. So we should be sort of in the correct direction now. It's going a little bit more to the right, so that's nice. It's sort of remembering the timing that we pressed the button. So that's always nice. Climbing at 1500 feet per minute, that's good. And the direction is pretty nice, it's pretty spot on, I believe. So we just keep this going. We keep checking the altimeter. So speed is around 170, 175 I believe, 174. Climbing through 3,900 feet now. Still no sign of the VOR. As soon as the VOR gets received, you will see the VOR needle. There's two needles there, and I will show you up close. The VOR1 needle is nice and thin, and the VOR2 needle, it is nice and chubby. I always call that chubby needle. That's the VOR2. Sometimes you can use it as well on your F2 radio, for instance, and then you can monitor both of them here already, even though you're just working with the only with the first one, for instance. So we're still climbing. So you know, navigation-wise, we have no clue where we are. But this course should definitely get us closer to the VOR that we're going to fly to. We could try and look out the window to see maybe some landmarks to use for navigation, but at this altitude I do see some hills, but nothing of real interest so far. So as I said, I'm really curious what we're going to find at the destination airport, because by the time we arrive, the sun will be setting, or will actually have set. Let's look outside. And there you can see the sun is setting behind us. So I can assure you by the time we arrive, the sun is completely below the horizon there. It's a beautiful plane, I just keep loving it. Okay, so let's have a look at the situation. We're still climbing at 1500, that's holding steady, that's really nice to see. No VOR picking up yet. Speed 170, let's check the altimeter, that's fine. So this first leg, let's pull up the chart so we can all see. So the first leg is about 143 nautical miles. So we're going to cross some high terrain here, but it's not really very high. It is 2,000, 1,000. The highest peak in this part of the chart is 4,400 feet. Can we see where this is? This should be I believe. Not really sure, but I do not expect any problems. There is an island that we're going over with a tiny island to the right. So that could be two landmarks for us, and there's a really big island. So those could be landmarks. There is a couple of really small islands right off the coast there. We should be flying between them. But as I said, you know, the wind could be blowing us to the north or to the south, and we'd be actually being on a track like here or here. So we do not really know until we get there. Since 143 nautical miles, so yeah, around 100, if it's strong enough, around 125 could already start picking up, I believe. But we'll see it when we get there. So let's just jump back into the cockpit and see what's going on. So we're still climbing. I'm happy to see that. Still at 1500 feet per minute. Speed's dropped a little below 170. It's around 178, I believe, or maybe 168. There you go, 125 nautical miles. So it's been picked up, and we're pretty straight on the track. Just a little bit of adjustment is required, but that's all. So click the localizer button, and there you go, the aircraft starts turning. So that's good news. Love it. I believe that's the big island that we could see on the map. So far so good. So if we look at the outside temperature, it is getting colder. I think it's probably not a bad idea, also because the sun is setting, to just turn on the anti-icing, because I've been traumatized from earlier flights where there was so much ice forming on the windows that I could not see, and I had to actually descend like maybe around 10,000 feet or something before I was even able to look out of the window properly. So it's really cool that it's been modeled, really. So the climb rate still at 1500 and holding steady. That's very nice, so we do not have to do anything. So while we're climbing through 12,000 feet there. Let's just keep it climbing. I said initially 14,000, but if we're going strong, why not go a little higher? It might save a little bit of fuel, and we might be even a little quicker, I would hope. Not really sure if my reasoning is any solid or not. So there's a small island, and there's the bigger one. So 13,000 feet. So let's have a look at the chart and get the next VOR already, or the second VOR to be precise. Should be the Charlie Uniform Lima, Culiacán, 112.2. .2, it's in the standby box for the NAV1 frequency. I will put it active on the NAV2 frequency as well, so we can monitor here, as I said earlier. I will show you. So if you look at it now, you can see the thin arrow, it's pointing to the VOR. The chubby arrow, it's the VOR2. It is not pointing anywhere, if you will. It's like its standard resting position. It is not picking up, I believe, but who knows? So 112.2. But let's test it out. 112.2. So So this is now active. So if you now look here, as soon as it becomes active, this needle will start turning, I don't know, there or wherever the VOR is located. Excuse me. But it might take a little while because it's a little bit of a distance to cover. So we're about, what is it, 110 nautical miles from our first VOR. Speed is dropping a little bit. We are at 16,000 feet. Let's have a look outside, see the sun. It's a beautiful Mexican desert, right here next to the sea. What a joy. So while we are still climbing, we're climbing through 17,200 feet. I'm quickly going to run to the galley and get a little drink. So I will be back momentarily. Don't nobody go nowhere. I will be right back in about 57 seconds. Okay, so we're back. Let's have a look. Situation: the climb rate has dropped to about 1,000 feet per minute, which is actually good because we are definitely losing some speed for now. So let's stop the climb at around 19,000 feet. The VR2 is still inactive, not being picked up. Speed's dropping to almost 140. Let's have a look. Let's reduce the angle of climb. And we're above 18,000, so I believe we should set standard QNH now. And there we go, 19,000 feet, so we'll request the gyro pilot to use the altitude control. So we will now remain on this exact altitude, which is 19,000 feet. It's looking good. So speed, you can see immediately the speed is coming with 160 knots, and we will request the artificial flight engineer to do the cruise settings.
Set cruise power, please. Setting cruise power.
So there's the island that we could see. Let's have a look here to see the bigger island. Right there.
Cruise checks are complete.
So now we'll just cross the ocean, really. Yeah, so not really sure what to expect with regards to the runway lighting. I really hope it's illuminated. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be even more of a challenge. One downside about doing the nighttime landings in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, as of lately, at least when I was streaming, the frame rate would turn like really bad. Not sure yet what exactly was causing it. So sometimes it's just like it, you know. There's nothing really you can do. And sometimes it might be, you know, you're running things in the background or something. Usually I'm running everything fairly, fairly minimal. You know, you do not want to have too many resources hogging the CPU or hogging the memory, you know, and the graphical card as well. So still waiting for the VR2 to kick in. We do not need a jet. We got 86 nautical miles to go still to even reach the first VOR, so that should be perfectly fine. Would like to see the outside air temperature. So it's about minus 20, almost 20 Celsius. Actually not too bad. But yeah, we do not want the instruments freezing up and the engines and what have you. And let's also have a look at the lights. The lighting buttons, they're scattered all over the cockpit really. You got captain's map light white. So let's see what this does if we open it completely. Well, I do see some red light there. Panel light, what do they call this? Captain's flight instrument light red. Let's go off, please. Just switching, turning the wheel of the mouse. Okay. You have anything similar on this side, perhaps? So this part is nice and symmetrical. First officer's map light and the first officer's flight instrument. Okay, so that bit is symmetrical. Still no VR2, but we do not need a jet. Just repeating it, just so you know where we are and what the situation. We got some lights here. Let's see, this is not it. Engine instrument panel lights. This one is red. Upper switch and instrument panel lights red. Magnetic compass light red. Oh, let's make that red. That's cool. So we will probably not need it. No, just leave it off. We just don't need it anyway. I say this now. Main instrument panel lights white, so that is what I would like for now. Let's see. Excuse me. Smith had to cough there for a bit. Okay, so the main panel is white, so that's good for now, really. It does not look like we're drifting at all. So that's also good news. Still waiting for the VR2 to kick in. And holding steady. Speed is gradually increasing. We're at 180 knots. Let's see the scaling on this thing, because there's a lot more. Not really sure how they do this. 140, 140, 145, 150, 155, but then okay, so just leave out the step there. So 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, and then it continues here to 140. Okay. So somewhere in the warehouse there is a 1 and an 8 and a 0 still lying around because they're not using it here. What do you think of that? I'd like to look at the plane from the outside a bit and have a look at the sun. Look at that, looks really pretty. So the sun is going to set behind us. So yeah, as I said, it's definitely going to be a nighttime approach and a nighttime landing. I will check the chart later. I believe everything was relatively flat, so no big mountain ranges, I believe. But I will have another look as to not to be too surprised when we get there, of course. We are in the cruising stage. But if we look ahead a little bit, curious to see if there's any land in sight, perhaps. No. I do like the effects here on the end of the propellers. Look at that. When you get behind the sun, or the sun behind you, I mean. Oh, it looks really cool. But you know, this aircraft is so cool because it's such a cool aircraft, you know, because it's really challenging you. You know, it needs to be treated like in a certain kind of way, otherwise it will just, you know, crash you. Obviously, to some extent, this goes for every aircraft you're flying or any vehicle that you're operating. But yeah, this is definitely very interesting to fly. And I've seen myself I keep flying it on the stream now. For some reason I feel like, you know, I want to get better at it, you know. It gets frustrating when sometimes when things go wrong. So let's have a look at the inside temperature here, because I am really actually getting hot, so yeah. But obviously it's not here. Our range is 45 nautical miles. The first waypoint, speed picking up slowly. We're almost at 200 knots. So yeah, the departure was smooth. Let's hope the approach is going to be smooth as well. Looks like finally there's some land in sight there. There you go. Let's see if we can find this little peninsula thingy on the map. I'm gonna see something as well. I'd like to see what it looks like on the map. So let's pull it up. Oh, there you can see this one going from left to right, and then this peninsula thingy. It's interestingly shaped, man. Look at this. Wow, that's really cool. One would almost think this might be the remnant of an impact crater, but that is me. It's not my field of profession. So while we are here in the chart, on our way to Del Valle del Fuerte airport, and the VOR that's sitting next to it, let's have a look at the terrain. This terrain seems really nice. 2600, so big. 1100 there, we're not going. This area is also really flat, at least the parts that we are going to fly, so that's good news. Any significant peaks there? Does not appear so. We'll see the length of the final leg, hopefully 117 nautical mile. We are now at 19,000 feet. We could look up the airport elevation. Mike Zulu. Let's have a look at that. Look, the UR2 is coming to life right there, so that's also nice. Let's look up the chart for the destination. Chart of the airport. There's one runway, so it's either 09er or 27. Airport elevation is low, 20 feet above ground level on this end, and 39 feet above sea level. I mean, on this end. Well, actually, it's a sea level or ground level, above ground or above sea. There should be a standard for this. I'm drawing a blank. Airport elevation 38 feet. Caution, birds in vicinity of airport. Okay, so the airport is basically low. We could see if there is an approach. They do have an ILS, man. Look at that. So that could be useful. ILS, let's see, 279. Yeah, so if we are able to land on the runway 27, it would require us to fly over the airport and then turn around. But then we could try and fly the localizer. it would require us to fly over the airport. Maybe from the VOR turn to an outbound radial of 105. Mike Zulu Tango for 9.0 nautical miles DME, and then we turn left, heading 266 degrees, and the ILS would start, look, there's the ILS frequency, and the glide slope would start, let's see, how do they put it here, VOR, so try to cross the VOR at 4,000 feet, so this could be, we could consider this maybe our initial approach fix or something. 105, that's what they're saying there, so yeah, so you be at this VOR at 4,000 feet, and then you fly heading of 105 until you reach 9.0 DME, and then you will descend to 3,000 feet, 11 nautical miles from VOR, 2,500, how are they saying, and then you're back at 9 DME, and then you're flying heading 266, 160, so that's fairly low, I believe, for the, if it's an ILS. Well, is this how it is? But it's definitely going to help us with the approach. So that would be nice. We could also try and see if there's META for the airport that we're flying to. And there is 330 at 6 knots. Yeah, so 27 would actually be fine. So that is good news. So we're going to keep that in mind. It looks like, what do you think? Is the sun is it getting darker, or is it? Yeah, it's definitely getting a little dark. So here are the interestingly shaped islands. Let's have a look on this side. Let's scoot over to the first officer side. The view is a little bit obstructed, but and let's also have a look outside because I like the colors. Oh wait, maybe just first check navigation. So 1.5 nautical miles. Okay, this looks cool, man. So here's the land. Oh, and there's the airport, look at that. I really like the effects, man, of the golden colored propeller tips there. Okay, so let's get back into the cockpit here. Because we should be getting into action. We're fairly high. There you go. So we should now switch over to the next VOR. Let's do this immediately. So we flip the switch, we're flying to 112.20, and we're going to reset the localizer. The aircraft is going to turn. It does not appear to turn yet. Let's see if everything's still in order. Switched off, really? Oh, maybe I did something. Sometimes I want to mess around with the controls. So bear with me, let's just see what we're doing. We're still holding, so that's good. I believe I do not understand this. Let's have maybe this to gyro pilot first, then we switch this one on, and then this one, and the altitude control, and now we go to localizer and it should start turning then. Alright, so there we have that. I want to get some lights here as well, so we will do this in a bit. with regards to the heading, let me quickly check the chart. Does not really say this time. Maybe there's another way for me to tell. Just zooming in, bear with me. It's off the screen. I would say then, I don't know, around 100 or something, but we'll just work it out through here. Anyway, off to turn right. Okay, so this should be fine. Speed 190, and we're flying straight to the next VWAR. So that's good, and we're 101 nautical mile distance. Let's have a look outside. It's so cool. The sun from the right side is illuminating those tips there, but here in the shadow, it's no longer funky. It is funky on the lower side there, when it's picking up some of the sun rays. So that's actually very cool. And there goes the sun. So let's have a romantic sunset from 90,000 feet altitude. Back into the cockpit for now. So I definitely want some light here. Not really sure which one would this be. Captain's map light. As the map light, it's just like an overhead light, you know. So you can sit here in your chair and read a map, but I would like some more lights over that area. Especially when you need it, you know. And when it's crunch time, you want to be able to see what you need to see immediately. Because it's definitely getting darker here. Engine instrument panel lights red. Where does this go? Just turn them all up. Look, it's like a whorehouse. This part really still stays a little in the dark, right? Let's see if the artificial, well, not really artificial light is here, but if anything we can get from here. Excuse me. Cockpit lighting off, white, red, flood. Let's have a look what's flood. There you go. So what is the floodlight button then? Anyway, I'm happy it's turned on. Got some lights up there as well. And now we should be able to, yeah, this really helps, man. It really helps, that's good. Okay, so we're flying on localizer mode. There goes the sun. Such a pretty sight. the last rays of sunshine. There it's going. Sunlight coming through there. Look at that. Oh man, is that the moon rising? Oh, how do we see that? That is cool, man. Look at that. So what's the full moon then? Because they're like in almost like in opposite direction. Yeah. Man, that is really cool. Look at it. Let me try and get a good angle, sorry. Hello, moon. Hello. Timing, people. This is really cool timing. So the sun is setting there. Behind us. Look, he's gone. You can see the moon is rising. And it's still catching some sunlight. Way cool. Can I zoom in from here maybe? Yeah. Let's have a look navigation wise, 67.5 nautical miles. And still counting down as well, so that's good. Let's for now turn off the lights. Maybe turn off this thing as well. Look at that. So nice. I'm getting a little brainwave. I was just now getting curious. Lunar eclipse 2021. See what lunar eclipses we can expect. Well, interestingly enough, what I find, I'm looking on the Google, November 18, 19, so we are past it, a partial lunar eclipse. This partial lunar eclipse, the last lunar eclipse of 2021, is visible from North and South America, Australia, and parts of Europe and Asia. But that would definitely explain a little bit, of what it looks like. This is, it just sparked this interest here on my side. Eclipses for December, total solar eclipse. Oh, are you kidding me? That is nice. So yeah, partial lunar eclipse was 2 days ago. 1 to 2 days ago, if you will. There is on the 4th of December a complete solar eclipse. Can we see where to see it? Region seeing at least a partial eclipse south in Australia, south in Africa, south in South America, Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Ocean and Antarctica. The shadow path, yes, it's really low. But alright, okay, cool. Well, let's get back to the aircraft here. Man, that moon, it looks very cool. It looks like you can touch it, you know what I mean? That you can just reach out with your hand and go ahead and touch it. So yeah, so if anyone was watching this live, then you could run to your window and see if you can catch the moon tonight. But this is absolutely cool. Totally loving it. Let's see if I got a guitar pick lying around. I mean, what kind of funky scene pilot would I be if I had no guitar picks lying around, right? And just for a little bit of accompanying music. right above the moon, you see a little group of stars. And I'm not entirely sure, but it is shaped like the Hyades. But I could be mistaken, but the Hyades is a group of 7 stars, with at least 7 stars you can see with the naked eye. So it's a little inspiring moment right there. And flight entertainment people. It's good that the microphone was working on this stream as opposed to the previous one. But man, I'm just really loving this image. Let's have a look if we can see if these are the Pleiades, because it really looks like it. What else can we see in the sky? If it's Pleiades, this might be the eye of the bull for the constellation, but I'm not really sure. But in any case, the view is just really cool, really very cool. It is getting seriously dark inside the cockpit, so let's get back into action a little bit more before we get ourselves lost. Fortunately, the DME is still counting down, but it's getting really close there, 15.8 nautical miles. Let's turn on the floodlights. I'm sorry, so really brutal. Where's the control going? There we go. We're still holding altitude. Speed is a little below 200 feet, 200 knots, my apology. So we need the next VOR. So let us do this, Sky Vector. We are now we pass this. Let's just double check, so 112.2, let me check inside, because I'm completely 112.2, there you go, okay. So I think, no, there was one stepping stone in between before we arrived, right? Or wasn't? No, so we're about to get there. We are now here, 112.2, like we're 12 nautical miles out. Heading 137 for 170 nautical miles. What we will do, we start by putting in the next VOR. That's the first thing we need. 114.9. Oh, sorry, I did not show you the chart. 114.9. So let's put that in. Let's see if we are there yet. 8.3, 114.9. 4.9, that's armed. So it's picking up on the chubby needle. So we wait until it counts down. And the heading is 137 degrees. That's a little bit to the right, you can see it right there. So it's not too much, not too big of a course change or anything. But then we should start considering our descent. Oh, I really had a nice moment there for a bit, people. It was nice. If any one of you catches this video, yeah, there was, then it's just nice. Look, there's some civilization. There you can see the moon is actually changing. It's getting more white. So it was really nice. It was a really beautiful timing there. Okay, 3.3 nautical miles. It's going to count up soon. There we go. It's switching over. So we switch over too. We go to the last VOR 114.9, and we reset the localizer. In the aircraft, as you can see, it starts turning. So that is good. It's also sending out a DME signal along with it, so that's also nice. 115.5. So we're 115 nautical miles out. So let's just take a moment. If you want to be 2,000 feet, which is about 17 minutes descent. And 17 minutes descending time is 5 nautical miles. So at around 85 nautical miles before our target, we should start descending. Now, what is our target? That would be the question. Oh, those colors are done so cool, man. Okay, 85 nautical miles before the target, so let's have a look at the map. So this is in a little while, and then this would be the target. The target is actually 4,000, so 19,000. So we're going to do it a little differently. So basically 19,000 feet minus 4,000 leaves you with 15,000 feet. So it's 15 minutes at a rate of 1,000 feet descent. So it's 15 times 5, so 75 nautical miles, and then we should start our descent. And then that should bring us precisely at the VOR there. And once we reach the VOR, we're going to fly an outbound radial, I believe it's 105, flight for 9 nautical miles, and we do left heading 266 degrees, and then we also put in the frequency for the ILS. So let's start by doing that. Let's get rid of the sky vector, and we'll have a look at the chart again to see what the ILS frequency is. That is 111.7. So 111.7. I'm going to start by putting it in here. 111.7. So that is active. It's probably not picking up. Usually around 15 nautical miles. We put it in the standby box for the nav1 as well, 111.7. Let's get some more lights going in the overhead panel here. Okay, so quick check. We are flying. Oh, let's also correct the heading for the VOR, shall we? So we can monitor the track. You see the aircraft starts turning. So we were a little off the course there. Not for too long, fortunately. So as I said, what we will do is we will fly straight to the VOR there, 114.9, Mike Zulu Tango, 114.9, let's just double check 114.9, okay, so we fly straight towards that VOR, once we are there, we should be at 4,000 feet if we descend at a distance of 75 nautical miles. And then we should be arriving at 4,000 feet, and then we turn to a heading of 105 on the radial for 9 nautical miles, turn on left heading 266, and we turn on the ILS frequency, and we try to see if we can do a ILS approach. That would be really nice. Distance now 97.5 nautical miles. I think what sometimes happens when I lose control of the gyro pilot or the autopilot, sometimes when you click and hold the right mouse button, and in my case I'm using what's called the Xbox 360 controller for PC. If I use the left joystick, I can translate up and down, and or at least left, right, and forward and backward. But sometimes the input by the it's the same the joystick. It's also what you use for controlling the attitude of the aircraft. So sometimes it registers as input, so it sort of overrides the autopilot. So these switches will go off. And then you're looking at the situation. I think earlier what I did was it was on localizer, and I do not believe you can activate it again if this is on localizer. I believe it should be on gyro pilot first. I could be wrong, but that's the impression that I'm getting. So anyway, it is really dark outside. Look. Checking these stars real quick. Nothing I can orient to. Oh, that looks like... Not really sure. No, never mind. But yeah, you can see it's really dark outside. So we'll just see what's going to happen. See if we can do floodlights. So now it's on flood. I just let's keep it like this. It's fine. Apologies. So as I said, we will let's go over the calculation one more time just to be sure. We're at 19,000 feet, a little higher, that's fine. 19,000 feet. We want to be at 4,000 feet, which means we're going to descend for 15,000 feet. We will descend at a rate of 1,000 feet per minute, which means it will take us 15 times 1,000 feet per minute, so 15 minutes until we descend to our designated altitude 4,000 feet. So 15 minutes. While we are descending, we will, well, if the calculations are correct, I'm going by what I've been told really, you should be looking at the ground speed. So once we descend around 1,000 feet per minute, our speed is going to pick up, and the ground speed should be around 300 nautical miles. 300 knots, and I believe you then for every minute you will travel about 5 nautical miles. So basically what you do is the 15 minutes for the descent multiplied by 5, so then you're looking at 75, and then it's 75 nautical miles from which you, the point where you should start your descent. So it's about 5 nautical miles to go. We will still be fairly quick, so maybe it's better to start our descent now, so we get a little bit of extra. So I'm going to request the artificial flight engineer. Oh, this is getting a little dark, this is screeny, that's a shame. Let's first request descent.
26 inches, please. Setting 26 inches.
Setting display to a little brighter. There you go. Oh, not that bad.
6 inches set. Descent checklist, please. Altimeters and flight instruments cross-checked. Seatbelt signs on. On. Engine blow is low. Low. Descent checks are complete.
Okay, so we're going to descend. Still 75 point something. 75 exactly. So we'll actually be a little late. Just put the nose down, 1000 feet per minute. We're a little bit over, but it's probably going to move back a little bit. So I'm going to let it rest for there, right there for a little bit. So there you go. You see our altitude is dropping, so that is the first thing covered. And we do not want to be below 1000 feet per minute, really. In terms of preparation, we have armed on the NAV2 radio, the DOR2 if you will, we have armed the glide slope, or sorry, the ILS. Obviously it's not picking up yet. I've armed it on the NAV2 for the reason that hopefully we should see started to get picked up. So the needle will start moving, and then we know it's alive, if you will. But as soon as we need it, all we have to do is just flip the switch for the NAV1 radio that we are actually following at the moment. And then hopefully, I did this earlier today, and I am not very experienced with the ILS in the DC-6. It was my understanding that it is supposed to actually fly the downward path, follow the glide slope itself, but I'm not really sure if that is the case. In any case, it should always help a little bit with regards to you know, knowing your whereabouts and your position towards the runway center line. But yeah, it is not as easy as in an Airbus or a Boeing. That's for sure. But then, you know, on the other end, it's just a matter of experience, you know. Just do it more often and you'll get a feel for it. And that should all be fine. Looks like we are following a big road. Wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure if this is our arrival city. Could be. Can I have a look maybe at the chart real quick? Could be this city, and then the aircraft is to the left from our position, airfield to the left from our position. Not really sure if there is any other big cities, but by the looks of it, I do not think so. So 117. I guess we should be around here. So yeah, this should probably be our destination city. And I think you can see the road as well on the chart. Let's just have a look, I will show you. Stand by. So you can see, where is the chart? Multiple windows here. There is actually a city close by. No, let's see. No, we might have passed it actually. Let's have a look behind it, but you can see the road that I was talking about. I think it's this one. Anyway, let's pull up the cockpit view again. Behind us perhaps? Oh look, we're over it. So there's a road connecting to the city there. Looks like there's a highway running through it or something, or some kind of main road. So now obviously I want to go check on the chart. I want to see what I can see there. It would not look to be same as on the chart. Probably not this, is it? No. So yeah, my guess would be it's this one. So maybe this is the railroad then. Anyway, it's nice to have a little, you know, like to orient yourself a little bit like that. So let's get back to our descent profile and have a look, see how we're doing. We're a little below 1,000 feet. I do not like. So I want to increase our descent rate a little bit more. It's a little bit over now, about almost 1,200 feet per minute, but it's fine. Just going to compensate for lagging behind a little bit. Range is 49 nautical miles. We are still descending. And you can use a timer, and you can actually see how far, how many miles you are you're covering in 1 minute. But it will be fine. Not going to do this now, I think. But I'm rolling a descent stage rolling cigarette with the rolling tobacco, the rolling paper. Speed is definitely picking up. I'm going to check in the stream overlay. I do not see it in sim, but I can see it when I check the streaming window. And there you should see the ground speed, and it looks like the ground speed is around 256 knots. So we are not covering the full 5 nautical miles every minute. We are actually covering a little less. Yeah, so probably we might actually be a little bit high once we reach once we fly overhead of the VOR at the airport. We could maybe consider actually increasing our rate of descent. Although obviously I do not want to break the airplane. It is already a little bit higher, our rate of descent, but let's just see if we can push it a little further. It's nearing 1300, 1400. We're at 11,000 feet here. So what if I change the lighting to red? Let's see what this does. Because as long as we got a little light here, it would be cool. Obviously there should be a floodlight button somewhere, so we do not have to use the complete full lighting for that, but just a little bit, just enough.
spotlight white. We turn this on a little bit. Maybe a little less. But just a little bit is nice. But you know, the point with red lights in the dark is because your eyes they don't have to work that hard, you know, for all the difference. Just give it 1 or 2 notches there. Let's see if we can do it like this. Okay, so what's the situation now? 1300 feet per minute, 1400. We're 30 nautical miles. Speed's picking up, which is fine. I'm going to pick up the descent rate some more. So pushing it over 1500 there. For now it's fine. It's probably going to settle back around 1500. That's my hope. We're definitely going down. And that's the thing with this aircraft. You know, it's not like an Airbus. You do not put your engines on idle during descent. You just go nose down, full speed, and then once you level out, that's when you start getting rid of your excess energy by setting the engines, and then later by creating some drag with the flap. So still going down, 6,700 feet. Range is still 5.6 nautical miles. We're definitely getting lower. Can we see the airport? That would be really nice. If it's illuminated, you know. Cannot see a beacon or anything. But we just keep on going. Well, it looks like we will definitely make it. 6 hours, so we got only 2 minutes to go. Or actually a little less. Quickly checking the stream to see if I can see what the ground speed is. It's a little bit of a cheat perhaps, but it doesn't really seem to be picking up a lot. It looks 245 knots, I believe it was when I checked earlier as well. But sure, whatever. It's not a train smash, and hopefully not a plane crash either. So 370 QNH. Looks like it's still the same. So we're reaching 4,700 feet. We're still 20 nautical miles, so that's good. So let's try and reduce the rate of descent a little bit. And then we're going to hold the altitude at 4,000 feet. Did you see the needle move? That is the ILS picking up, so that's good. I'm going to let it go a little bit below 4,000. So just at, we have a little bit of buffer there, if you will. So we are below 4,000, so just really easily get over here, zoom in a little bit, make sure we got the right button, have one more look at the altitude, and it's 3,700. So we click engage altitude control, and we'll keep, now it will keep the altitude steady at whatever it is when we pressed it. Now we should probably check with the artificial flight engineer and do the in range. So let's start with this.
Normal. Fuel booster pumps. On low.
Could that be the airport?
Mains on. Cross.
Who knows?
Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs. On.
So what we need to do now? Is get rid of the excess energy. 13 nautical miles. So I'm going to press the abort button for now and slowly reduce the BMEP. Let's go for 80, see what this does. Speed is slowing definitely now. Speed 180, or almost 185 actually. Definitely would like a visual. Still do not believe I see anything resembling an airfield from the way I'm expecting to see it, at least. So it's going to be a challenge. We're still holding altitude, it's good. Speed is not really slowing as much as I would like, so I'm going to reduce to about 75 BMEP, because at some stage we would like to extend our flaps. So yeah, if we're flying straight for the VOR, it should also be straight ahead. So that could be the airfield, but not really sure. What's our speed? 160, 170, okay, so flap 1. And hopefully it's going to create some drag. So just keep it, just keep on watching it. Let's see the placard, what else it says. 174. Yeah, we could even go a little below then, even. So we're going to flaps to 15%. Range 6.3 nautical miles. Flaps 20%. We're aiming at around 140. BMP a little back, just ever so slightly. I think this might be the airfield, although it wouldn't make sense. No, it is not. So that's probably why it didn't make sense. Yeah, but this could be a runway there. Man, that is poorly lit. Okay, no problem. Let's see if we can get away with flying an ILS. We're below 4,000 feet. We're 140 knots. I'm going to request well, before landing, shall we do it? Let's do it before landing.
Setting flaps 20.
So we should be getting ready to
Set.
turn right to a heading of 105. Let's quickly look at it again.
Mixture set.
Once we arrive here, turn right 105 and check for 9 nautical miles. Then we turn left 266 degrees and we turn on the ILS. And really quickly, I also want to see when, because the ILS, I believe it starts at, glide stop starts at 1600.
Gear down and locked. 3 rings.
So yeah, we might be a little high then. So let us
2500 RPM set. Cal flaps. Plus 3 degrees. Cal flaps set. ADI.
need a little more floodlight.
ADI is off.
1.6 nautical miles.
Speed good. Extending lights. Lights extended and on.
There's the airfield. It is illuminated. That's good.
Setting call. Before landing checks complete.
Reset the view. 1.1 nautical mile. And we're going to descend a little bit, not too much, but a little bit, and check the speed. Speed is dropping, so we have to monitor that. Going to give it a little more BMP there, 0.6. So we're going to turn right, so let's first switch over to this one. We're going to turn right, heading 105. That looks like a left. Well, no problem, let's do a left turn anyway. As long as we go to 105, I hope. I'm getting confused here. See what I mean? It's our current heading. Let's see. So if we were coming from this direction, then it would be a left turn 105. Yeah, so that doesn't really matter. As long as we go to 105, so turn left, maybe a little quicker now. And it's about there. Let's see if we did it okay. I guess so. We get up close for a second. For me that's fine for now. Speed is fine like this, 1 to 0. So we watch the DME, 2.5, so we're waiting for about 9 DME, and then we turn on left, heading 266. This looks cool. Okay. So what's going on? We're still descending. That's good. We're descending slowly. That is okay. Let's see. 3.8 nautical miles. Let's descend a little more. 3 notches. See what this does. Not too much yet. So a little more yet. Speed might pick up a little bit. Without the speed, let's check the altimeter. Altimeter should be fine. 5.0 DME. So this is a challenge in the dark. Hopefully it's going to work out fine. 5.7. Speed 130, or actually 125, no 130. Still descending. Should intercept the ILS or the glide slope below. So I do definitely want to get down even further. Range 6.8 nautical miles, 7 nautical miles. So let's do 1000 feet per minute. A little more. Range 7.8, 7.9, 8. 266 is gonna be like a right turn. Not really sure what I'm doing here, man. You know what I mean? Okay, so where are we? 9. I'm going to do a left turn anyway. We should now be turning left to a heading of 266 degrees. It's a little over 118 degrees. Speed's picking up a little bit. We are at 1,500, so I'm going to keep the altitude for now. We're still turning to 266 degrees, and I'm also going to turn on the ILS frequency. It's kicking in. There's the runway. So what I think we should probably do, turn off the autopilot now. Oh man, that's what I mean. It's so hard to see in the dark. And all these buttons are close together, so we're losing quite a lot of time here. Autopilot has been turned off. So take control of the aircraft. It's a little bit dangerous with regards to the speed and the altitude. So let's just try to stay on the profile. Definitely somewhat of a challenge. But you can see the beacon there right in front of us. So I'm going to turn right. Definitely needs some more power here. And not pitch up. Because that's one of the most dangerous things you can do at this stage. Not pitch up, no pitching up please. And get some more power in. Let me quickly see which one was the runway. I believe it's right there. Yeah, so this is not a very nice approach really. So I'm not going to abort yet. Altitude is 2,000 feet. That's acceptable, I think. The gear should have been down, right? Let me quickly check outside. Okay. I'm sorry, I do not feel confident now checking on the inside. So we're just going to do it guerrilla style a little bit. See what we can get done if we do it like this, the approach. So we could extend some more flaps, hopefully create a little bit of drag. And the aircraft wants to climb, and Arkady does not want to climb. So try to use trimming, and maybe we can get a little more of a steady approach. It seems relatively steady, so we have to watch our speed. There's a runway, so I'm trying to intercept the center line. We're a little bit to the right, side stepping to the left a little bit. I'm going to extend full flaps now. Altitude is 2,500 feet. So trim it down. Speed will pick up a little bit. But we definitely need to be a little lower. And the airport elevation was like, I don't know, almost sea level. So let's just keep on coming down, maybe a little more to the right. 2,000 feet now. We're currently blind spot behind the window bar. Try and correct it a little bit. We are still coming down. Have to reduce the speed a little bit. So we are a little bit on the high speed side there. Going to around 65 BMAP if I can. The speed should bleed off momentarily, I hope. 500 feet. Ooh, it is scary, man. Speed is dropping. We're more or less lined up, that's good. Drop the speed a little bit more. Drop it almost like completely. Keep it steady. Easy, easy. Set it down easy. There you go, touchdown. Engines to idle. And just brake. So you see what's doing again. We're going off the runway, and here we go and make the straight U-turn again. Without crashing. I mean, look at this. No, this is not possible. How can you not crash? How can this not be a crash? Oh, I'm really pumped about the landing, people. seriously bummed. The approach looked really fine. Something I'm missing the last stages. I will definitely have to do something more. The approach was a little bit messy, but the touchdown also seemed fine. Actually, at the moment I touched down, I tried to only brake and not give any other kind of input, so no rudder and definitely no left-right, so no ailerons, and just brake. And still the plane would, at some stage would, like, I don't know, was going to the left or to the right, like a wing up. Yeah, so at some stage I had no other choice than to just, you know, put some input. So yeah, but this feels stupid. I mean, I'm not in developer's mode, and I have full realism, so crashes are detected. So why does this not register as a crash? You could see outside the outside view, like looked like the wing was just hitting the runway. I mean, you know, if this aircraft didn't crash, at least it needs like 50 years of maintenance now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm really sorry about the landing. I would have loved a very beautiful landing. It looked promising, but it was not. It is how it is. Let's have a look at the airport diagram. See if there's any parking spots for us to go to. Now I turn on the location. But no, I'm really bummed about this. How can you? This is not a landing, man. It's like, it's almost like a game. It's like GTA if you can land like this. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be a simulator. So I really don't understand. But I'm probably not gonna understand for a while. Okay. Is this all the lighting we have? I think I would prefer a left turn actually. So let's get the flaps up here. Maybe even ask the artificial flight engineer to do the after landing checklist. And let's do a little bit of forward thrust to get turning hard to the left here. And we get the get the intersection there. I'm thinking, we're probably going to crash now, you know what I mean? Like, we're on the ground and then, yes, you'll hit a chicken, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's a crash. Your aircraft collided with the chicken, and yeah, so now you're all dead. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's not fair of me to blame it on external things. Well, actually, I'm not blaming. It's just that I find it weird that we did not crash. But yeah, as I said, probably going to find it weird for a really long time. The speed's a little high. Yeah, some other aircraft. Where can we go? Let's go left here. It's a little bit hard to see. Okay, well, it starts to look like an airport now. I didn't expect them to have all these planes here. No disrespect, obviously, but it looks so remote. Those are Turkish Airlines. That's really cool. Hey there, Turkish Airlines. Look at us, we are now neighbors. Okay, so let's just stop right here. Parking brake is set. And let's get the plane ready for the parking. Anyway, regardless of what happened, welcome to the General Rafael Buelna International Airport, or Aeropuerto Internacional General Rafael Buelna. In Mexico, it's also called the Mazatlan International Airport. Hope everybody had a good time. I definitely did myself, especially the moment, at the point where the sun and the moon were opposite each other. Well, while we were flying real world time and weather. That was actually quite a nice experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's open up the window. Where is the thingy? It's getting dark. Let's turn on some light. There, the window's open. And where was the ramp manager? So we can open up the front cabin exit and the cargo holds, and the cargo doors, cargo entrance. These should all go open now. And then the front cabin stairs so that the flight crew can disembark from the aircraft. The artificial flight engineer chair can go as well. So that's it. Still puzzled why we did not crash. I know that I did everything not to crash, but at some stage it felt like there was nothing I could do anyway, and still it did not crash, and it doesn't sit well with me. It seems wrong. I'm really not sure what's up with that. Let's have a look outside a little bit. It's quite dark in here. Yeah, you see the cargo doors are opened. And here as well, look, you can peek inside. So yeah, now you can see it's totally different. There's no chairs inside or anything. Just a big old cargo plane. Moon is rising. It's good to see. Is there anything we can see in the sky for identification? Personally, I just like it. I know a lot about the stars. There is big stars. There is small. Okay, no, just kidding. Okay, so that's it for today's flight. Maybe we'll be back later. Probably not today. Probably tomorrow. Thank you so much for checking. I'm looking forward to see you back at another video. I will just keep on going strong, like I always do. Thank you for checking out. I'm your personal funky scene pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, and thank you for checking. See you next time. Bye bye.